Hello, it's Edith Silin of Love and Above, and I am here with this week's card reading. And that's for this week, the 2nd of May. And today we are using a completely different deck. You will find this out when we're going through it. It's Miracles Now by Gabrielle Bernstein. I have had this deck for a number of years now, and I love it. It just gets straight to the point of exactly what it is that the card is trying to say. So let's have a look. So what have we got for Monday? Okay, I'll read it, then I'll show you it. Obsessing over the outcome of a relationship gets in the way. Instead, I let go and allow. There we go. Completely different. I let go and allow. That's the message for today, for Monday, the 2nd of May. I let go and allow. No matter what it is that you are thinking about, or whatever is happening today, it's all about letting go and allow. Sometimes life happens to us. We are not in control of our lives 24/7. Life happens to us, and this card is acknowledging that life happens. Just let go and allow whatever it is that's going to happen. Sometimes that can be quite scary because we like to be in control of our lives, but let go and allow. Okay, let's have a look at Tuesday. Let's see what's coming out. Again, I'll read it first. I pray before I pay. I pray before I pay. Now, people get mixed reactions about praying. Praying, there is the a biblical try that again biblical implication here that we pray to God or to Jesus, but that is not what praying is about. It is about praying to something that's higher or bigger than you. That is all. And it doesn't even need to be the word pray again. It's not just about that. It's maybe a better word is communicating, having a conversation with a higher power or something that is greater than you. For me, it's the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit, it's a Native American belief, and it's in the four winds, north, south, east, west. The Great Spirit is everywhere. That's how I envisage something greater and bigger than myself. If I want to go bigger than that, I just think of the universe, the universal energy. I practice a healing modality called Reiki, and we use the universal energy. Allow that. It's like my body is a conduit, and allow the universal energy to come through my hands to help whoever it is that is on the table in front of me. So it's not about, and it's about really when I'm doing that healing modality as well, it's like having a conversation kind of. I allow myself to be the conduit. I open up my chakra here right at the top of my head, and I just allow the energy to come down and out through my hands, and I just feel that energy. I don't direct it in any sort of way apart from where I place my hands over the person. So, but what I will do before I start a treatment is I will ask for help. I do. Excuse me. I will ask of it from my spirit team, particularly my dominant guides. I also have another guide who likes to come in and help as well, so I will ask that guide as well. I will also ask the passed on masters who from Reiki, so Mikao Usui, Mrs. Takata, Chirio Hayashi, and then there is Phyllis Lee Furumato, who passed a couple of years ago. So there are so I asked those people to come forward. I asked them to help me with this healing. And people can say, and this is my equivalent of a prayer before I go into a Reiki session with someone. And it's not about praying. I'm using a different word. It's not about conventional prayer. It's about asking for help. It's about asking for, using, this session for this person's highest good. That's what I do. So if we take it back to today's card, which is I pray before I pay. So before I pay for something, I can ask for help from the Great Spirit, and I can say, do I really need this? There's a thought. And maybe it's not about praying, the word pray. Maybe it's about having a conversation with your higher self. Do I really need this? Will this help me work towards my goals? Will this help me in my everyday life? I'm not saying don't buy milk. That's not what this is about. This is about if you're maybe going for anything more extravagant than normal. Sometimes we can get into a situation where we've just been paid. Paydays, I don't know. I sometimes call it a payday syndrome, where it's just like, I've got the money, I can pay for this now. There's a difference between doing that with something that you need and doing that with something frivolous. So have a think, have a conversation with yourself, with your higher self, before you pay for something. And this is for Tuesday. Have a conversation with yourself before you do that. Maybe the situation doesn't come up. Maybe it does. And maybe you're looking at, just going over your finances and seeing if there is anything extra you're paying for that maybe, you need to just, do I really need this still? My husband and I had that conversation yesterday with a subscription that we have. Do we really still use it? Do we really still need it? And we both came to the conclusion of, no, we don't. So we're getting rid of this one particular subscription because when we originally had it, we used it all the time, but now we don't at all. So there we go. Why would I want to keep on something like that? And that's basically as simple as the word pray is what I've just been talking about. So let's look at Wednesday. I can change my patterns when I change my mind about them. I can change my patterns when I change my mind about them. Okay. We all have patterns with our behaviour. We all have patterns with how we act and what we do in certain situations. Every single day, you're hungry, you feed yourself. There's a pattern. Every single day, my bladder's full, I go to the bathroom. There's a pattern. Those patterns are very straightforward. But sometimes we can feel like, oh, have you ever caught yourself saying to yourself, oh, this person made me do this, or they made me feel this? And it's a pattern of either not taking responsibility for your actions, or it's a pattern of a person triggering you to do something or to say something that you do not really want to do. Down in your heart of hearts, it's not something you want to do. So this card is saying, whatever pattern it is, maybe you're consciously aware of the pattern that you have. So this card is saying, realistically, when I change my mind about the pattern, you can change it. Even if that is when you see yourself or feel yourself getting into that space, you change. You just change how you react. That is as simple as it is. So let's look at Thursday of this week. Okay. We have got, happiness is a choice I make. talked about this before. We all make choices every single day. We choose to get up in the morning, out of bed. We choose to have a shower. We choose to eat. We choose to do, there's so many choices we make on a daily basis, and they can be small, they can be big. But happiness is a choice I make. I choose to be happy. I choose to lead a life that I absolutely love. That's me personally. And so when it says happiness is a choice I make that choice on Thursday. Make that choice. Whatever is happening, even if I'm not saying that, hey, something really bad happened to me, I need to be happy. It's not that. It's about what is it that's in that situation, not that's going to make you happy, but how can you look at it in a slightly better way. So it's a choice that you can make. Happiness is always a choice, and I always love that choice. Okay, Friday. Let's have a look. When I honour my feelings, I find my power in powerless situations. When I honour my feelings, I find my power in powerless situations. Many people, and I've done this myself so many times, so I'm talking from experience here. Emotions, I sometimes find that emotions are a vulnerability. I have found that I do not want to honour or even acknowledge my emotions because I feel very vulnerable when I'm in that space. But and people who suffer from an addiction particularly understand this, that if they're powerless against something, so whatever their addiction is, whether that's alcohol, whether that's narcotics, whether that's gambling, whether that's sugar, whatever it is that they have a problem with, when they acknowledge that they're powerless against a situation or powerless against whatever it is, if they acknowledge those feelings, those emotions that they have inside them, it's better. They feel a bit better. They can be able to function just a little bit better. That does take time. That does take time for them. And that's exactly the same. When you honour your feelings, when you honour those emotions in powerless situations, you are taking your power back. So there are some situations in life which you cannot change, like, for example, death. Somebody that you love passes over. You're not going to be able to change the situation, but acknowledging that, hey, maybe I'm not going to do as much today because I'm feeling that pain and I'm trying to honour my mourning period and my grief. That's a powerful statement. That's saying to the world, I need to look after me right now. When you put up a boundary and you know you've had a very stressful week and everybody's expecting you to be at a specific place at a specific time to do something, and you say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I need to take some time for myself. A lot of people might think that's selfish. That's not your problem. What you need to do is honour those emotions, honour whatever feelings. Look at that on Friday. What is it that needs to be honoured within you? Okay, let's look at Saturday. A long one. Whenever I compare myself to others, I simply say this prayer. The light I see in them is a reflection of my inner light. When I compare myself to others, simply say this prayer. The light I see in them is a reflection of my inner light. Okay. Again, we've used the word prayer, but as you can hear, It's not necessarily praying to a deity. It can be a reminder to yourself. The light I see in them is a reflection of my inner light. How many times have we walked past people in the street? I'm talking from experience here too. And I've thought, what on earth? Or maybe it's a better one. Walk past someone in the street and just think, oh wow, they're beautiful. Oh, that's really nice. I love it when I see parents walking at the speed of their toddlers. I just absolutely love it. The toddler is not getting pushed, is not getting hurried, or anything like that. There's a time and space where, you want the child to go faster. And in those moments, I pick them up and I go with them in my arms. But when not, when it's just walking, go at their speed, I'm honouring their speed. I am the light I see in them. All they want to do is just be and exist. And they want to do it on their own terms. Their legs are so much smaller. And so when they're taking those little steps, that's fine. They are progressing. They are absolutely progressing, moving forward. I absolutely love it as well when I see others helping others, the kindness. Look at it more consciously on Saturday. Whatever you're doing Saturday, look at it more consciously. And maybe you'll be able to hear it in others as well that you're speaking to or speaking with. So when you start to compare yourself to others and you start thinking, oh my goodness, I wish I could look like her. Or it could be, oh, I wish that I could be as sporty as this person. The light I see in them is a reflection of my inner light. Use that as a mantra. Use that as something to think about. May change your perception a little bit. Who knows? So, Sunday. Let's have a look at Sunday. Okay. I choose to reinterpret my fears with a more loving perspective. I choose to reinterpret my fears with a more loving perspective. I have fears. I know many people have fears. And changing how you feel about fear is a good thing. There are I'm not even going to go. We can have real deep fears. You can see it a lot in children with spiders. I don't know where children get that with spiders. I once recently asked a 3-year-old why they were scared of spiders, and I quote when I say, it might tickle my tummy. Now, I thought tickling was fun, and this 3-year-old definitely finds tickling fun, but all of a sudden, the spider tickling tummy is a step too far. So there's a fear there, a bit of a fear, and this goes through into people's adulthood with spiders as well. So look at it from a more loving perspective. How can you change how you feel about that spider? I'm not saying that it's going to be a cure. It's not that. Look at what that spider is there for. That spider has a right to exist as well. When we have spiders in the house, I'm not going to lie, the bigger they are, it fills me with a little bit of anxiousness. If they're small and tiny, I'm just like, that's fine, you can exist, you can live, just move on. But when they're bigger, I shout for my husband and I say, hey, can you get the spider? I do not mind the spider existing. I do not want spiders to die or to be killed. I just don't want to share the same space as them, if I'm completely honest. But they have a right to exist. They have a right to be able to survive as well, They have a right to their food. They have a right to they serve a purpose. My husband loves spiders because they create webs and they eat flies. And my husband doesn't like flies. So there's a so there's another advantage for a spider. So just looking at it from a different perspective, look at it from a different viewpoint. That's all it is. So those are your cards. It's like I said, different deck this week. But next week I may well use a more traditional deck next week. So that is Miracles Now by Gabrielle Bernstein. One last thing, I want you all for the rest of this week to keep rocking your awesomeness. And I'll see you next week. Tomorrow is Thought of the Day. Wednesday we have Wellbeing Wednesday, and Thursday we've got a new addition onto YouTube of Therapy Thursday, and I just talk about therapy that's on my mind. Speak to you soon and keep rocking your awesomeness.